Now at 6:30 on WKYT this morning, we're making history right now with record-breaking temperatures in the Commonwealth. How the cold is hindering some firefighters across Kentucky, including a tough situation in Clark County.
With another winter storm on the way, many stores rushing to restock shelves with essential supplies.
And we're looking across the way with record-breaking temperatures this morning. Once we get that on out of the way, then our focus turns toward this winter storm, and it's a brutal one. I'll explain those details coming up in just a few minutes.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT This Morning.
It's Friday. Good morning to you. It's one we're going to remember for a long time to come. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Rebecca Smith. Record-breaking cold weather again making for dangerous conditions across the Commonwealth.
For some perspective, it's 16 degrees right now up in Fargo, North Dakota, and it is 13 below zero here in Lexington. All of this as another winter storm is taking aim at the bluegrass for the weekend. Meteorologist Micah Harris has the latest on this WKYT First Alert Severe Weather Day.
Shattering records all across the region. We're at minus 13 here in Lexington. We broke that record of 0 degrees set back in 1896. And just to put it in perspective, Adolph Rupp wasn't even thought of during that time. He was born in 1901. That's how old this record is. Almost 120-year-old record. It's pretty remarkable. Minus 17 there, Mount Sterling. Paris, you guys, Cynthiana, you guys, Carlisle, really getting the brunt of this. Look at Richmond now with the wind chill at 25 degrees below zero. That goes for Lexington, too. Look, this will really bite you. I mean, straight in your face right as you walk out the door. You will absolutely feel it. 17 by the afternoon. It does get better. I mean, we get on the positive side of things, but that's because something's on the way. It's a big winter storm, and I'll show you those details coming up in about 10 minutes.
Okay, we'll see you then. There are all kinds of challenges out there this morning.
Yeah, many different angles to this story of cold. It was a busy night for firefighters in one central Kentucky town.
They made several runs overnight over in Clark County, and the weather creating all kinds of challenges. WKYT's Mark Barber is live in Winchester this morning with the latest on what happened over there. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Bill and Rebecca. Firefighters here in Clark County describe working in these conditions as brutal. They say they do have extra men on hand to help respond to emergencies, but they say the extreme cold is still making their jobs extremely difficult. They tell me they have already had a very hard morning. They say around 12:30 they were called out for a fire on Red River Road, but they say one of their fire trucks actually slid into a ditch, even though that fire turned out to be a false alarm. They say that truck was trying to make its way up a very snowy hill. It couldn't make it up, though. The driver tried to back it down, and at that point, firefighters say that the truck slid off the road into a ditch. Now, fire crews say that the slippery roads, snowy roads, are a main problem. They say that many times they aren't even able to make it up to homes because driveways and sidewalks, they are still blanketed in snow. Now, crews say at 12 o'clock this morning, they were also called out for a furnace fire on Lafayette Boulevard. In that fire, crews say that they believe that an overworked furnace was spitting smoke into the home. Crews say they know it is very important to stay as warm as possible, but they say when the cold is sucking as much energy as it is right now, it is also very important to conserve energy when possible.
Make sure it's clean, keep your filters changed, and with them working overtime and overload like they are right now, just keep an eye on them, be vigilant with them.
The extreme cold is extremely difficult on everyone, but especially on first responders. Firefighters here say you can make their jobs much easier by checking your heat sources. They say make sure they are working properly. They also say make sure as much snow as possible is cleared away from your home so they can get to it if there is an emergency. Live in Clark County, Mark Barber, WKYT.
All right, Mark, thank you. I guess this question comes, how cold is it? Cold enough to freeze almost anything out there this morning. Check out this picture shared by our sister station, WYMT. It shows a Whitesburg firefighter's gear frozen to the point that the pants stand up on their own. There's nobody in those pants there. They're just standing there.
Or maybe they're just starched really well, right?
Oh, wow, doesn't that say it all? And with another round of winter weather on the way, right now you can expect stores to be packed again this weekend as they have been all week.
Many of them still trying to restock their shelves from this last storm, and especially on Sunday when a lot of folks were shopping. Whitney Wetzel's live in Lexington, where it is hard, we hear, to even find a shovel this morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. Well, we are here at the Walmart in Hamburg, and we talked to the employees here a little bit earlier this morning. They tell us they are out of shovels and they are out of salt, and the Lowe's next door apparently is supposed to be getting a shipment of shovels in, but they too are out of salt. So if you don't have those items, it is going to be pretty tough to find them at this point. Empty shelves have been a common sight at many grocery stores since the big shopping spree before Monday's storm. Much of that snow has still stuck around since these record cold temperatures have set in and turned some of that snow into ice. Some people are still even waiting to dig their car out of the snow, so stores that sell shovels, ice scrapers, and those winter prep items, like I said, will probably be getting more customers today, although it is going to be tough to track down some of those items. And like Micah said, we are in for another round of snow, sleet, and possibly even freezing rain this weekend. So if you haven't been prepared all week, now would be the time to at least attempt to get those items, because that storm is expected to hit later on tonight. Live in Lexington, Whitney Wetzel, WKYT.
Well, we could see, of course, more snow this weekend. That makes for a grueling week for streets and roads crews. They were clearing neighborhood streets in Lexington overnight. Mayor Jim Gray says 100 city employees are working 12-hour shifts. The city received a 1,200-ton shipment of salt yesterday. It's being mixed with fine gravel to help with traction in these cold temperatures. While many businesses are closing because of the winter storm, one pizza place is not. Sir Pizza in Lexington has been open every day this week. Managers tell us drivers are making as many deliveries as they can given the condition of the roads. They say they've been very busy.
It's been hectic these past couple of days. Like when weather's like this, it's usually busy, but with this type of weather, it's been chaos. These 3 days have been really nonstop for people with our drivers four-wheel drive.
Well, Sir Pizza management says they haven't had any trouble staying stocked with ingredients.
Well, the brutal temperatures are also dangerous for our pets. We all need to keep that in mind. So when some officers saw a dog out in the freezing cold, they stepped in to save it. New this morning, Georgetown police say the dog was out in the cold for some time. Take a look there. They took it to an animal shelter and is expected now to be okay. Well, here in Lexington, Animal Control received almost 30 calls in 48 hours related to the treatment of dogs in the extreme situation. One person was cited. All pets should be brought inside during these sub-zero temperatures. And the cold isn't just affecting cats and dogs. These bitter cold temperatures also hitting farmers hard. Calving season is about to begin, and now farmers are taking some extra precautions to protect their animals. They recommend making sure that animals have plenty of hay so that they can bed. All animals also need a shelter to escape freezing rain and harsh winds and other conditions.
Herd mentality of cattle. They group together, and that's part of their mechanism for coping with extreme cold. Now, Central Kentucky, we're not used to this, right? So these cattle aren't conditioned like those in the upper Midwest and things like that.
Kentucky cows are not ready for this. March is typically the beginning of calving season, but some calves come early, so these dropping temperatures pose a serious problem for Kentucky livestock. Now remember, for a complete list of closings and delays, and it is long and growing, along with updated weather information as we keep you up to the minute, just go to our website, WKYT.com.
Now turning to other news, police in southeastern Kentucky are looking for a missing Clay County man. Family members say 36-year-old Jason Napier hasn't been seen since yesterday morning. A golden alert has been issued. He lives in Manchester and drives a blue 2013 Nissan Sentra. Family members say he suffers from mental health issues. They're worried he could have a hard time dealing with this cold weather. A Laurel County teenager injured in an ATV crash is back home this morning. Casey Collett spent 9 months in hospitals in Lexington, Georgia, and Pennsylvania. Friends tell us a group of people welcomed Casey home last night at the London Corbin Airport. They say he's doing much better, but still has a lot of recovery ahead.
A bill that would have banned transgendered students from choosing which bathroom to use at Kentucky schools has been rejected for now. A Senate committee did not pass the bill yesterday. It was filed in response to a Louisville school's decision to allow students to use the restroom of their sexual identity. The bill would have allowed transgendered students to use a separate bathroom. The Senate Education Committee chairman said the committee could reconsider the bill at a point later in the legislative session. Well, the current conditions may not exactly inspire thoughts of taking a dip out there, but that's exactly what dozens of people are set to do this weekend.
Yes, they are. The annual Polar Plunge at Texas Roadhouse on Richmond Road is scheduled for tomorrow. They jump into a pool to help raise money and support a Special Olympics. The first polar bears will hit the water at about 11:30. This is the 16th year for the event.
Wow. And I'm sure they had no idea that we would be in this kind of circumstance when it happens, but they have told us that they do plan to go ahead with that for tomorrow.
I was out there last year for that. I did not take the plunge, but it's just the waiting around for so long that's the hard
They have
part.
a section they call Scared Bear area.
Yeah, I was in that one.
Kind of watch. All right. Something interesting developing right now.
Yeah, we are tracking this just into our newsroom. Britain's Prince Charles and his wife Camilla coming to Louisville next month.
The announcement came early this morning on Twitter. Charles and Camilla will wrap up a 4-day visit to the United States in Louisville on March 20th. Now, they're scheduled to highlight work being done in our area to promote clean air and food literacy. Just a couple of other points. This will be going on during one of the rounds of the NCAA tournament in Louisville, which will be going on over there. So that will be an additional challenge. And the Lion King will be at the Kentucky Center at that time. You know, I guess Charles could go sing "I Can't Wait to Be King" or something, but it's going to be a big visit.
I would pay to see that. Let's see.
It's going to be interesting. Welcome the Royals. Hopefully the weather's better by then. 6:41 right now.
All right, let's see what's happening on the roads besides it being so cold.
Here's Officer Don with a check of live drive traffic. Good morning, Don.
Good morning, gang. Well, cold is the biggest issue this morning because the main roads are definitely passable with patches of ice, of course, so don't get caught off guard. But a lot of stalled cars due to the cold weather, and we're going to see that more and more. The great news is not a lot of traffic volume out this time of the morning, and rush hour will probably be light since a lot of things are closed. It's Broadway and High Street looking good both in and outbound there. On our Waze map, you can see those stalled cars throughout the city and on the interstate. They're all over to the side, but still an issue to deal with throughout the morning. Now back to you in the studio.
Okay, Don, thank you very much. 6:42 now on WKYT this morning. It is your Friday. We're heading into the weekend. The challenges follow us right along with weather. More WKYT this morning on the way.
Well, not everyone is sick of this cold weather. How some furry friends are enjoying the fluffy stuff ahead.
Glad somebody's having fun, because we are not. We're at 13 degrees below zero there in Richmond, minus 22 in Mount Sterling. We'll go over the latest forecast, talk about this winter storm coming up next.